Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at patreon.com/inspired disorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Ted Lasso, Season 2, Episode 5, Rainbow, is the episode we're on this week. It opens with Nate going into, walking up to a restaurant, a Greek restaurant, and walks in. And he wants to make reservations. It's his parents' 35th anniversary, and he wants to make reservations. And he has this dream, this idea, this way to impress his dad, impress his parents. He wants to book the special window table in this restaurant that it's his parents' favorite restaurant, or at least the restaurant they complain about the least. And he's given kind of the cold shoulder by the hostess. She doesn't acknowledge when he stands in front of her. When he asks to make the reservation for the table, she's like, I got to talk to my manager. Like, it's not overtly racist, but clearly the restaurant has a problem with having Nate, who is a person of color, sitting in the window of the restaurant, which it's not ever overtly said. But it's just one of those things where it's like there's no reason for him not to be able to request that table unless it's already booked for that day, which it is not. But she says that she can write him down for the table in the back corner. So it's the farthest away from the table that he wanted. And, but he's trying to make this appointment, so he's doing the best he can. Tries to use Roy. Roy Kent is on the TV at the bar, and he's like, I know Roy Kent. And she's like, oh, is he your dad? And he's like, no. Well, if you bring Roy Kent in, if you bring a famous person in, then we'll treat you with respect. But until then, we're going to book you for the back table. So that's how this episode starts, with a little bit of Nate trying to do some good for his parents' anniversary. Then we cut to the Richmond. We're playing some soccer. Tends to be a lot more soccer in these episodes. In season 2, feels like there's more scenes of the team actually playing soccer. And again, actually they're reviewing tape is what they're doing in the post game. And Isaac, who is the new coach, not new coach, he's the new lead, the new team captain. He's just angry at it. He's the only tactic he has to get his players to do better is to tell them that they are shit. And they're playing like it's just all negative reinforcement, not working. Not working for him as a leader. It's not working for the team. And Ted Lasso has this huge speech about rom-communism, which is an interesting way to invent a term of rom-coms, like using the ideas of rom-coms and implementing those into real life, and how, it's mostly about everything will work out. You don't know how it's going to work out. You don't know the details. The details might be different. The goal is the destination. The goal is the direction, I'm sorry. And the outcomes of your goals and your dreams might be, you may accomplish your goals if you keep trying. You will. But the details won't be what you expect them to be. That being said, there's a whole thing where all the guys are throwing out their favorite rom-com actresses and rom-com movies, which is interesting. Not interesting, but it's fitting because this episode, in a lot of ways, deals with romance, deals with the different levels of romance, whether it's Rebecca flirting with a new guy on Banter, which, by the way, my whole prediction, not part of the plot of the show, but the team is now sponsored by Banter, so I was correct. There just wasn't a scene where Keeley had to come save the day. It's just now their team is sponsored by Banter. But Rebecca flirting with this guy on banter. You got Ted, not Ted. You got who else? Oh, Higgins and his wife, talking about his wife and how they met, and that's the title of the episode. Rainbow is that the song Rainbow was playing when he first met his wife by the Rolling Stones. What's it called? The Rainbows, something like that. You look like a rainbow. Of course, I have it. She's a Rainbow by the Rolling Stones. And that's his ringtone for his wife. He walks in, and Rebecca's on her phone flirting with this guy, and he comes in. Keely is, she's doing her thing. She's got coffee makers for the team. So Nate, he's not only kind of put down trying to make these reservations for his parents, but later he's walking through the hall and Keely's handing out all these coffee makers to all the teams because it's a new sponsor, and he's not allowed to have one, and he's bummed about it. He keeps getting knocked down in this episode, but then it's part of this episode is also about how he needs to stand up for himself. Because one thing with Nate that we've seen is that he's very much far in either direction. Either he's like really quiet, really timid, or he's roasting people and being like the worst kind of like aggressive person, and he needs to find a balance, the gradients in between those he needs to explore a bit. One of those is being more confident in general, and not going just. People tend to become assholes thinking that they're going to be portrayed as being confident because they don't know. They just think like yelling and being mean is confidence, and that's not confidence. That's just yelling and being mean. That's like way too much. It's way too heavy. So Keely and Rebecca in this episode are helping Nate understand how to be confident, understand how to find strength to be confident, because it's a difficult thing to be. Because on some level, confidence is an act in some ways. It's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of a thing. Like most people aren't very confident. But if you speak confidently, and especially if you have the basis to be confident, like you're standing on a platform of truth, it's a lot easier to be confident than if you're just telling lies. But either way, both require confidence. And in the midst of being confident, especially for the first times being confident, it feels like you're being fake. But it's the more you do it, the easier it is to just be confident in what you're saying. And Rebecca gives him a little treat to like find confidence, to find, some people listen to rap music, some people like something to pump you up, make you feel good, make kind of grow your ego a little bit, get you going a little bit. And her thing, what she does is she stands, which to the background of this, you see Nate doing it, but is to find somewhere real private and to get as big as possible, which is something that like animals do, is they get really big to look intimidating. And she will do that just for herself. She'll find a way. And Nate in this show, he finds his own way, which is the same scene as him trying to do what Rebecca's thing is, but he has his own thing, and he finds it pretty easy. A lot of the things in the show tend to be tackled fairly easily. A lot of the hurdles that are placed in front of these characters tend to be, like Danny Rojas kills a dog in the first episode, and then like by the end of the episode, just like one sitting down with Sharon, and he's back to normal. So things definitely get fixed very easily in this show, which is fine. It's a lighthearted show. Actually changing is much more difficult than it is portrayed in this show. But it's still part of what's you're still getting the growth of these people. So you have Rebecca also. She's going back and forth. And her whole thing is she hasn't been in a relationship in a long time. And also, her, very similar in a lot of ways to Roy, she's trying to find herself. She's trying to understand what she wants out of life. You know, she's out of a relationship, so in the relationship sector of life, she doesn't know her voice. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she's looking for necessarily. Same thing with Roy. And Roy tackles is dealing with that same thing in this episode where, you know, he's given a new opportunity in this episode because Isaac, as I was saying, not handling his position as team captain very well, and Ted talking to the Diamond Dogs, you know, letting him know, seeing what their things are, and Nate offers to speak to Isaac, which is another one of the moments in this episode where Nate gets chopped down a little bit because Ted just laughs it off. And Nate, you know, probably took some balls to, like, I mean, when he says it, his character is like, it's not going to be an easy thing to do, but I'll do it, coach. And then Ted just laughs it off, which is just another one of the things in this episode that knocks Nate down. But Ted, his idea, he meets up with Roy at a kebab place and asks Roy to be a coach. And tells him that he's having problems with Isaac, which Roy already knew because Roy's new job as like a pundit is, you know, all he does is analyze these players and probably thinking of what he would do and how he would help them, because he was a leader for a moment, but he was a leader, probably more so in parts of his career that were not part of the show, you know? So he knows he has good instincts on what could help Isaac. And Ted realizes that. Ted goes to him, and he's like, yeah, we'll figure something out. So later in the episode, you see Ted taking Isaac to go meet Roy, and Roy is like, okay, we're going to play some pickup soccer. And it's all about Roy reminding Isaac why he's doing the things he's doing. And like just letting go, having fun, being in the moment, remembering why he got into soccer and football in the first place, and really making it the game fun again for Isaac, and letting him not be so serious. And clearly you see the next game, right? The next day, they're warming up. You got the pundits, you got Roy with his other co-hosts on the show as they're about to break down a game that's about to happen, a match that's about to happen with AFC Richmond. And Roy sees that his advice, his coaching, paid off because AFC Richmond, the whole team is having fun. You got Isaac having fun, dancing with people. Everybody's just loosening up, having, you know, just really, he could tell, he could see his influence taking effect, and he could see like the product of his work, which when you work for somebody else, it's hard to see that because you're really just, you know, working for the man. But in that moment, this episode turns into a rom-com, just like a classic rom-com scene. And it's the scene in the rom-com where the girl or the guy realizes that they're with the wrong person. And it just lightning strikes. They realize it. Roy takes off his microphone in a hurry. And it's the scene where they're like, they have the realization and they're running to their true love. You know, they're running to go say, I love you too. But he's saying, I love you too, to the sport of football. And to AFC Richmond, probably on some level. So it's a funny scene of Roy Kent, who, to be put in that kind of character situation of a rom-com where he has the realization that's like, oh, this isn't what I thought. This is what I wanted. This is close to what I thought I wanted. You know, he experimented with it and it was a close fit, but it wasn't the perfect fit. And he realized that coaching was the fit. Coaching was the thing. Ted sees it. He now sees it. and he can't, like, there's no other life path makes sense other than him being a coach. And without him going to be a coach for this game, he can't pass up that. There's nothing in life, like, he would rather die than pass up this opportunity. He understands it's an opportunity, and he's running to his love of football. And it's a funny scene. You know, you get to see Roy Kent, which in previous episodes was mentioned that Ted has had a ticket for him under Reba McEntire at will call every game this season. So you actually get to see Roy Kent pick up his will call ticket and then walk onto the field, which is an amazing scene where it's like he's finally he understands, like, everything fits and makes sense. Like, everything is fallen into place where Roy understands what the next chapter in his life is, and it's when he walks out on the pitch and the crowd is going wild because Roy Kent is there, their old superstar, and he's going to line up along the coaches. And you see when he goes to line up with the coaches, you see Coach Beard have some, like, whoa shit, like maybe he wasn't privy to the new coaching staff addition. And then obviously you see Nate, who at this point went to the restaurant with his parents, found the confidence, that he found his secret way to get confidence, and he got the table that he wanted, and he did it in, like, the, you know, suave, matter-of-fact, confident way. Successful. Nate's a new man, dressed up beautifully for this game. The Nate character in this episode has risen. He leveled up in this episode. But when Roy walks by, you could tell this is like, okay, well, I'm confident for getting a table at a restaurant that nobody cares about, but I just got a coaching thing, and we got another coach. Like, how many coaches do football teams have? Soccer teams have? So, you know, obviously drama. There's going to be drama in the coaching staff. And I would hate to see any of the coaches leave. I love Coach Beard. I mean, out of the coaches, out of the characters in this show, he's not really what he's had to do. Coach Beard had a little bit, like, he had a little bit of a romance here, a little bit, but you're not really following Coach Beard in any episode. Like, I don't think he's had an episode where it's like he was one of the main plots. I don't believe. But I would hate for him to go. Hate for Nate to go. But, you know, maybe Nate does. Maybe Nate realizes that, you know, maybe he goes to work for another team. Maybe, you know. Or they just go with 4 coaches. I have a feeling there's going to be drama somewhere in there with the coaches. I also think, because in this episode, you have Rebecca flirting with her guy on Banter, which the whole premise of Banter, this dating app, is that you don't know who you're talking to. You don't see who you're talking to. Basically just like a chat room in the 90s, which I would question the validity of the Banter app being successful when, if you don't have to prove, like a lot of dating apps, you have to verify. You can anyway verify, send them a picture, and they verify that you are the person in the picture, that you can't catfish. But I mean, the easiest way to catfish somebody is to never have to send a picture of yourself, which is the whole premise of Banter. So there's the scene where she's like on the phone, whatever, flirting, and then it cut to Ted. I think it was in the stands during the game. Rebecca's on the phone. Keely's like, why don't you just tell him that you own a soccer club and you're thick? I think she said thick. You know, she's hot. Just, you know, she's trying to, like, Keely's whole thing is you got to promote your brand. You got to be out there with who you are and remind everybody that you're the shit. You know, and Rebecca is hesitant to do that. She doesn't want to ruin things because obviously that's That's a big piece of information that, depending on the person receiving the information, can go in multiple directions as far as a reaction. But she's like flirting with this guy, and it cuts to Ted walking through the hallway on his phone, smiling, chatting with somebody, or looking at something. I mean, in the scene, there's nothing that he would have been checking his phone for. So, my prediction is that, which I don't really want to see, but it's my prediction that Rebecca's been chatting with Ted on banter. Ted's fresh off of and I think both of them don't know who they're talking to. So that's the whole point of banter. But it wouldn't be surprising. Would not be surprising. It would add some more flavor. I don't have any desire to see those two. I think they're great friends to each other, but I don't see any like romantic. There's no chemistry between those two characters. So if they were to add that chemistry, maybe that would be part of the story, is how awkward it is because they don't really have a chemistry. But either way, that would be my prediction from watching this episode. Other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun. A great way to the ending with "You had me at coach," which is perfect. The line Roy gives to Ted as he walks onto the pitch to stand alongside the other coaches, which is the perfect line to go along with the whole romantic comedy that's the big theme of Roy and Ted and everything. I enjoyed it, but also the romantic part of Higgins makes you love Higgins even more. The fact that his ringtone is "She's a Rainbow" by the Rolling Stones, but also they're playing that song as Roy is running to the stadium, and there's a scene where Higgins sees his wife dressed in blue, just as the lyrics of the song say. And it put a big smile on my face, like so many scenes of this show does, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah, that is episode 5, season 2 of Ted Lasso, entitled Rainbows. Excited to see what happens next week. Get yourself some amazing coffee over at stationhousecoffee.com and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. That's your place for small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, shipped directly to you. Go now to stationhousecoffee.com and order yourself some amazing coffee. And don't forget to follow Station House Coffee. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. Follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Peace out!